Day 2 of my Vlog-A-Day challenge with Devin. He has yet to even post his from yesterday, so I'm motivated to stay consistent and show him follow through, I guess, which is not my strong suit. So, and encourage him to post his too. So, it's our last day here in Big Bend. We had a great day, did Balanced Rock hike, and it's gorgeous. Tomorrow's a travel day, so we're kind of wrapping things up. We're going to try to head out about 8 a.m. tomorrow, and so there's just a lot to do. So we've been doing that tonight. We went into Big Bend National Park 3 days. Not in a row, because everything here is such a long drive. So, and we're actually in Lajitas, so that takes another 20 minutes to get to the Big Bend Park entrance. And Big Bend National Park is, I think, by landmass, the biggest national park in the country, and also the least visited. Fun fact. So, the first day we went in with my parents, and we went to the Chisos Basin Visitor Center and did, it's called the Windows Trail. It's just like a short half-mile wheelchair accessible hike, easy, paved, but beautiful views. And then we did the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive and pulled off and did the Chimneys hike there, which is a lot harder than it looks or sounds. It's 5 miles round trip, totally exposed. And then you kind of get out, they call them chimneys, but they're sort of like kind of close to hoodoos, but not exactly. There is an arch, which was really fun. My mom got to hike up to that. But yes, it was definitely, and it is labeled moderate, so it's not labeled an easy hike. So that was the first day in the national park. Second day, we went to Marfa, which I liked. I think it's interesting, but it is a good hour and a half there and an hour and a half back into the park. So you really have to be interested in going to Marfa, which is kind of, it's an art town. I liked the vibe there. They have good food, but we were there in between lunch and dinner, so there wasn't a lot of things opened. And I think we're also kind of in the off season for them, maybe. Then the third day we hung out here in Lajitas at the resort, and the boys got to go zip lining, which was really fun. We played games around the campsite with my parents, and then we had a really cool dinner here. So Lajitas actually used to be a homestead, and then I think in 1970 something, a Houston businessman bought it and turned it into a resort. I'm going way longer. My goal is just a minute every day, but I'm having to recap a lot of days, so these will get shorter. So we had dinner at the resort, and it was delicious and really fun, and just really fun views. And so it's neat that this used to be someone's old homestead and they turned it into a resort. It has a golf course and just really neat event spaces and stuff like that. And then our third, we went to the state park. That's what we did on our fourth day. So on New Year's Day, we kind of had like a New Year's Eve. We had a chill morning, and then we went to the state park, which I liked a lot. It was really neat. We did the Closed Canyon hike, which was kind of like through a slot canyon, and then you got to the end, and you couldn't go any further. And it was about 1.5 miles round trip, and pretty neat to have like a state park right next to the national park. And then Daryl and I walked across the street to the resort for their New Year's Eve party, which New Year's Eve party in West Texas, Lajitas, it was really interesting, and kind of felt like we were in a movie set or something. And then New Year's Day was yesterday, and we crossed the river into Mexico, into Boquillas, Mexico, and that was really fun. The kids enjoyed that. We you pay $5 a person and they row you across the river, which is not very far, but it supports their economy. And I tell you what, they are working hard. Then we rented burros, donkeys, and so if you watch my stories, you could see us riding those donkeys up into town, or you can walk, or you can rent a horse, or you can ride in a truck. But the kids were very excited about riding a donkey. We had lunch at Jose Falcone's, which is a really neat story. In my stories, I took a picture of the menu, which tells the story of how Lilia's dad started the restaurant, and she is one of the main, I think, job providers in Boquillas, and it's a depressed town, and it's very not friendly conditions. Like it's so just dry and desert, and so the fact that how they even survive there is incredible. They just opened a solar farm, she said, a couple years ago, so that's been helping. But her parents sent her over to Georgia, and she was working in a meat packing plant there. Maybe it was Kansas. And then her daughters sent her to Kansas, and then her daughters are still in Georgia, but she's come back to run this restaurant. So super fascinating talking to her. And then we came back across the river. You have to make it back across by 4 because the border crossing closes at 4. So you're spending the night in Mexico if you don't make it back. But you could stay at Jose Falcone's because they have a little hotel there, which wouldn't be so bad. I've gotten asked by a lot of people if we felt safe. And yes, we felt very safe over there. Or, we wouldn't have gone. Then we came back and we went to the hot springs, which used to be a business, sort of like Hot Springs, Arkansas, if you've ever been there. Obviously not that big, but in the 50s, I think people would drive to go to the hot springs. So we did that, and then we saw wild horses, and that was a jam-packed, very eventful and fun day that did not include a hike, so the kids were really happy about it. Then today, we went back into the park for our third and final day in Big Bend National Park and turned in our books. The kids got their Junior Ranger badges. We learned more about Big Bend, which it's just so majestic. It really is. The landscape, I think it has the highest peak in Texas, and it's got the river, so mountain, river, and desert all in one. What? Oh, forest. Yes, mountains, forest, because once you get up high enough into the mountains, you actually get forested trees and everything. So we did that and then came home. So I won't recap 5 or 6 days every time I hop on. Hopefully it's just a recap of the one day and we can keep this down to a minute. But I think looking back, we'll love having these kind of like a journal. Dear Diary. It's me, Margaret. So, signing off. Thanks, guys. Hey. Oh, I'm going to wave at y'all. Thanks for being on, everybody. Super fun. It's like you're on our trips with us. All right. See y'all later. See you tomorrow.